LinkedIn co-founder and Democratic donor Reid Hoffman, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, and actor Woody Allen are all on the list of elites who continued to associate with sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after his 2008 conviction, according to new reporting in the Wall Street Journal. Hoffman admitted to the Journal that he visited Epstein's island once for business. He says their last contact was in 2015.
In other Epstein news, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon will be deposed later this month in lawsuits accusing the bank of covering up Epstein's sex trafficking, a source told CNBC yesterday.
So mega applause to the Wall Street Journal for the reporting they're doing on Epstein's associates and all that. This story begins, and I think we already knew that Larry Summers, so former Treasury Secretary, former president of Harvard as well, I think we already knew that he had some Epstein connections, but this story begins that, so I'm quoting from the Wall Street Journal, Lawrence Summers wanted $1 million to fund an online poetry project his wife was developing. The former Treasury Secretary and one-time Harvard University president turned to Jeffrey Epstein and said, "I need small-scale philanthropy advice. My life will be better if I raise $1 million for Lisa." Lisa, I take it to be his wife. Mostly it will go to make a PBS series and for teacher training ideas. Again, this is in 2014. This guy already was convicted of sexual misconduct with a minor. You know, like by then, like maybe you just like lose this guy's contact information from your phone, right?
No, I agree with you. Even if, you know, by some sheer, very large stretch of the imagination, you assume that he might not be fully guilty. It would behoove you to not converse, much less ask the guy for money or support.
Oh, sure, right. For opposite, yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever. And for what? A poetry? Like, for anything, it's stupid. But yeah. Poetry and anything linking to schools, like, it's a lot. It also shows that just how deep Epstein's relationships went. I think that sometimes we don't fully, or the general public doesn't fully understand that, beyond just obviously what we know about sex trafficking. The fact that he was a member of some of the highest echelon cliques in terms of politics, policy, and government across multiple countries. I think that we always have to remember that.
Yeah, and so the information about the LinkedIn founder is new to me, at least. Maybe it was previously reporting. I don't know that. Woody Allen in the mix. That's a little eyebrow raising.
Woody Allen being involved with anybody who had sex trafficking is not necessarily as eyebrow raising as you might think.
You know, allegedly, and so on. Properly caveating everything here. So the Jamie Dimon, the banking news is interesting because it's possible that this legal action will bring to light more a better public understanding of the extent of Epstein's connections and goings on. Like you said, it's just amazing his level of access to people like Larry Summers, who was a top government official, a top academic official, if there is such a thing, his access to Clintons, Republicans as well. It was totally bipartisan. It's elites. It's an elite situation. All the elites, you know, they even the elites who are railing against elites in general, they're still all hobnobbing together. I'm amazed with the ability that this guy Jeffrey Epstein could get on the phone with powerful people because he had all this money to throw around. When they needed favors, they came to him.
The subculture of ultra-rich people being able to expand their influence and their environment well beyond the means of any normal person, any advocate, any policy person is, it's otherworldly. And I think that even though Jeffrey Epstein had all of these issues and issues that were well known to everybody because they were overly publicized, and once it came out, you know, after he was going through the legal proceedings and everything else, some things got brushed under the rug. It was when you have money, you can make that happen. They weren't even worried about proximity. Not only proximity, they weren't worried about image at all. And there are certain individuals where, you know, it's a hot potato. Like, nobody's going to be friends with or go to bat for R. Kelly right now. But I think that there's something to be said about this guy because of the money he
maybe
had.
If he can help you publish your poetry, I don't know.
Exactly. If he can donate millions or get millions to you, maybe he would have had a much stronger semblance as well. It's problematic because it shows you that regardless of what party you happen to be a part of, regardless of where you happen to live, because he had a lot of connections in Europe and in Central and South America as well, this guy was able to infiltrate all levels of government, all levels of the private sector. When you have money like that, it doesn't matter what you have done or what you've been accused of. You still have people basically calling you. You don't disappear. And I think that gave him this, well, didn't give him a sense of power. He had power because of, quite frankly, when you have some of the major leaders of any country giving you a call or having you in their phone, at the end of the day, you are an essentially really power player.
Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak visited Epstein dozens of times and accepted flights on his private jet, visiting his mansions in Florida and New York. I'm reading off a list from the Wall Street Journal. Again, great reporting by the Wall Street Journal. Woody Allen, Reid Hoffman, as we mentioned, Leon Black, the billionaire co-founder of private equity giant Apollo Global, scheduled more than 100 meetings with Epstein from 2013 to 2017. It just goes on and on and on.
I mean, wealthy people hobnobbing with, being friendly towards, and having relationships with other wealthy people is not necessarily breaking news. But I think to the point in your opening, it is all the things he had been connected to that seemingly did not matter to individuals who were still connected to him.
And
because
Bill
I get
Gates,
it before he had been caught up. But after that, you would have assumed that these people would have just disappeared, disassociated, whatever. I don't know you anymore. They absolutely did not. There are only so many people you can ask for millions of dollars from, though. I think we also have to remember that. And of that list, Jamie Epstein never made it off.
Yeah, Bill Gates as well had a long history of associations with Epstein. It apparently spooked and unnerved Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates. She said that subsequent to the separation and divorce, that she was like, "This guy is creepy. Why are you talking to him?" And you know, it's interesting. But obviously, there's a sense that there's so much information that we have not yet even scratched the surface of the full extent of this abhorrently disgusting criminal behavior, and then his vast associations with all these people.
And all of those networks who would rather die 3 or 4 times, heinous deaths, than to have their names brought up in any association with Jeffrey Epstein today.
Yeah. All right, we'll have more Rising right after this.